Okay. All right. Um, very good evening and welcome everyone. So today's session is a session where I think the idea that we are going to discuss today is a very unconventional thought. So many people who desire to study abroad, they dream of themselves to be living in the country that they are studying, living the lifestyle that they see in these countries, and they want to fulfill their dreams, desires that they might have had since early childhood. But as we all know, like many successful people and their stories, uh, they all go through unconventional paths. And even with regards to overseas education, this may seem unconventional to us, but still, it is very common that many students who study abroad uh, absorb all the education and the awareness that they can, and then they pour it back to our country and do something enterprising in our country. And we have two very similar examples with us today. The detailed introduction of our guests, Mr. Pranav Gadgil and Mr. Rohan Pawar, will be given by our director, Amit sir. And yes, with our regular sessions, we will be having our director, Mr. Amit Gore, interviewing them. And as this is our 15th event of the Study Abroad Information Week, I guess a lot of people who are joining in, you guys already know the format. So just in case if you're new here, we will be having a session where our director, Mr. Avid Gore, would be interviewing these students, our alumni, and Amit sir would be asking some common questions that students have in their mind. However, you guys, the participants, you also have a chance to pose your questions to them. So feel free to put down your questions, mostly during the ending of the session. If you also feel like dropping down a question in the chat box while the session is going on, then that will also be fine. But do make sure that you listen to them carefully. I guess a lot of information and awareness would be there in this session. So without wasting much time, over to you, Amit sir. Let us officially begin.
Thank you, Hiren. Thank you for this brief introduction for the event. Okay, good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to two of our guest speakers today, uh, Mr. Pranav Gadgil on my left hand side now, and Mr. Rohan Pawar on my right hand side now here in the screen. These both gentlemen, they completed their Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Sciences way back in 2009 or something, and both of them they decided to study abroad. Fortunately for us, they both were our students as far as study abroad is concerned, and they went to their respective places. Pranav went to the Long Island University in New York, and Rohan Pawar went to Sheffield Hallam University, UK, for a master's in analytical chemistry program, if I am not wrong. So these two people they completed their education in flying colors, and then they worked for some time. Like Pranav was there in the US for some time, but later both of them they returned back to India. They both are well in Nasik now, and they have started with their own ventures, startups. Mr. Rohan is having his own lab, analytical lab, and a research and training center with a brand name of RAP Labs. And Mr. Pranav has also started in 2018, I guess, with his own logistics of cosmetics and own brand, which he started with, uh, which he is running. And apart from this, he is also working with his US company as well. So he is into two jobs, we can say, but everything he is handling from India, uh,
Yes.
from Nasik. So these two are the classic examples for those students or those parents, those who always ask us about uh, Um, what about our son or daughter if they will come back to India? What will happen? Will they be happy in India? So these two happy faces, and there are many others which are there in India now. More recently, also there are many students, those who came back, like students those who are quite junior to Pranav and Rohan. They went abroad in 2015 maybe or 17, you can say that they came and they are doing excellent. But we specifically took these examples because it has been more than 3 to 4 years now that these people are in India, and they do not have any plans to go back as well. So this shows how happy they are in India. So these examples are really good for all of us to understand, what makes them to come back to India and how they are managing and how the education abroad was helpful to them. So, with this brief introduction about both these personalities, I believe we may start, like if they permit me to ask some questions. There will,
Absolutely.
yeah, there will be questions from crowd as well, like our students and the people those who are gathered in the meeting as well. We will have close to 30-35 people at the end by the meeting ends. So those people will also well question, but I think I have my first right on both of you, so I can start asking you questions. We will finish everything and wind up in say 40-45 minutes. So remaining 15 minutes we can give to our students. So shall I start, Pranav and
Yeah,
Rohan?
sure, sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so here we go. We will say the heading is importance of an international degree back in India is what is the topic. So we start with Pranav. Uh, I just want to know because we will go back to 2010 and 11 where you went to the US for your studies. How was your experience at Long Island University in New York?
First of all, thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be back where it all started. Uh, so about Long Island University, I mean, it was a very humbling experience. It was my first time I was moving out of my comfort zone and loved the entire process from figure out a way to reach university by public transport till the day I graduated. So it was all about adjusting to the new country, people, educational system, and not just that, with extreme climatic conditions as well. But the week before we started, we attended an orientation program, which made all of us very comfortable and got accustomed to the university campus, coursework, educational system, and life in general in the city. Regarding the course in university, I got to learn from the best teachers in their subject who not only had a more practical approach of teaching, but also made us ready for the industry. So it helped me landing my first job as well. So overall experience at Long Island University was very nice, very enriching.
Great, great. Coming to Rohan, the same question on the country. How was your experience at Sheffield Hallam University in the United Kingdom?
First of all, sir, I would like to thank. I think this is my second event that I'm attending by your side, and thank you to for your team, their efforts. In case of Sheffield Hallam, if I remember that, I never felt that like, I came to some another place. But the thing which I would like to mention over here that the resources were the great which were provided to me as a student over there, and because I could remember that I was working for the university as student ambassador, and there I remember that they provided some 8 floors library was there, and some 4,000 computers were there to access. The classrooms were like separate one. The faculty member and everyone like highly educated. Some people I worked with whom they were from NASA. They were working for the NASA. Like many people were there who came in the list of WikiLeaks also. So this is how like I came to across to all these people. The second thing which I found over there that which I could see or the students who are facing in India, that was the research area which I could see, because today whatever the situation is there, after raising such a situation we started digging for the water. So likewise it's not there, or simply I could tell you, the 30 Mbps speed which we are using right now over here, I used to use it over there in 2010 only. So this is how my experience was there. The resources is the main word which I would like to give impact over here, that which I felt over there, and that was really, watering for the everything, like whatever we got over there. So I think that was great over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So both of you had an excellent learning experience.
Yeah.
Then it gave you a lot of value addition for you to do in your life. Now coming back to jobs, okay, in abroad, like I know Pranav worked there. He was there, he was working. He also had a H-1B visa in the US, which is very important aspect for many of our students. So I will like to ask both of you. We'll start with Pranav again. Like, how was your job experience there? Like, how was the company and how was everything?
Sure. I started my career with Vitapure, which is right after my graduate school. So Vitapure is into business of vitamins and dietary supplements and pharmaceuticals for past 37 years. So in 2012, they launched a startup called Best Naturals, which is no more a startup now. And I joined this startup as a very early employee. So Best Naturals is an e-commerce brand of vitamins and dietary supplement, selling on variety of e-commerce platforms like Amazon, US, UK, Canada, Walmart, Rakuten, Newegg, and many more. So we scaled up this business from like $0 to double X million dollars in 5 years. And we started with 10 products when we started off. And now the company is selling 450 unique products into the market. So right from the day when I got into product marketing and product management, and which I felt was very challenging and intellectually stimulating. And I enjoyed my process overall. So Vitapure is a great company to work with. Not just the company, but the people I worked with, cross-functional teams. Everyone was really nice, and it was very helpful for me who I am today.
Okay, great. And Rohan, I remember when you had completed your masters from Shutilalam, that time UK was giving a post-study work visa for everyone, which
Yes,
came
sir.
years. I remember you got that visa, and I think you got a very good job as well because you were the topper in the class.
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir.
Because your professor told me, because your professor came, I happened to meet him in Mumbai.
Okay.
I have one of my students from Nasik. When he heard Nasik, he told me, Rohan, yeah. You were famous in the university, I know. So,
Yeah.
for a job as well. So, how was that experience? Like, I know you never did that job, I think, but like,
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. First of all, like even though like when I came top in that university, Pranav was the only one who called me from US because at that time he saw the news in the newspaper over here in India. Yeah. Basically, sir, I think that was my last batch who were about to get the student PSW visa, post-study work visa. And at that time, David Cameron was there, and he declared that now we are going to stop everything. So at that time only, I decided like, okay, let us get this visa, and since we are getting the last chance to be over here, and then we'll think for HSMP and all. And a company was there in Guildford area. I forgot its name. It was a topical preparation. It was a research organization only. So there I was about to get the job, but my family forced me to come back to India because my family wanted me to do the business since everybody is a businessman in my family, like including my wife also. So they said that if you're going to continue your business, why you're wasting the time for the experience and all. So they asked me, they forced me to come back to India, and that would be the another reason that's why I came to India. Otherwise, I was asking them to be over there at least for 6 months, or I started bargaining from 2 years, then 1 year, then 6 months, but they never listened me. But as you know, sir, I came over here, and after coming over here, within some 4 or 5 months only, I started my own research organization. So in case of UK, you may get job, no doubt about it. But obviously, I would tell all the students who wants to go over there, you should have your aim fixed before you go over there or before you think for the abroad, like why you wants to go over there. No doubt that in my case, the decision to go over there just to have a great experience, because till that time I saw everything, what is the culture over here and what type of facilities or what type of degrees and everything resources and what type of all these things are provided over here in India. So obviously to get that experience only, I went over there, and when I thought that okay, now I got everything whatever I wanted to have, just accept that experience. I got everything. With those everything, I came over here and I tried to put everything over here. So that's what I'm doing right
So we can
Rohan, you are inspiration for me.
now.
so Rohan, no repent, right? Coming back.
No, zero regret, sir. Zero regret. Sir, let me tell you one thing also, like even Pranav is also there. As you said in the starting only, like we have some Indian mentality. I'm not defaming or I'm not like, discouraging all those others who are listening to this. But after some period, there will be a time that somewhere you will start thinking कि भाई अब time हो गया है, अभी तो जाना ही पड़ेगा India. It's like that only. Like even though from here student thinks that कि नहीं मुझे जाना है, मुझे settle ही होना है, like that blah blah blah. But at some point there will be, mind make thought आता है कि नहीं भाई अभी तो जाना ही जाना. It's like that only.
You are saying कि बाद में जाना है तो जल्दी निकल लो.
Yeah, exactly, sir.
Because I happen to meet several students like you, Rohan, those who completed in UK, maybe Australia, US. They just completed the masters and they came back, and maybe sometimes a family pressure, sometimes pre-marriage pressure, some like a lot of other pressures. They came back. But yes, most of them, like almost all of them, like they say no regrets. They are doing pretty good, and they are doing good like you. Yes.
Exactly.
Which is perfect. Now regarding like both of you, I can see a lab behind you, Rohan, which is your own
Yes.
lab.
Yes.
And in case of Pranav, his brand, you can see the virtual background, like he has a own brand. So I want both of you to tell a little bit about what exactly is your startup about. So we start with maybe Rohan now. Rohan, what exactly because now it's not a startup, it's like quite a established organization, but how you started and what are to conduct in the
Yes, sir. The studies in UK only, that was only what I could say, means the idea came from there only, because whatever where I wanted to work over there at that time, that was a research organization, a contract research organization, which we called as CRO. So that was my plan. Like after coming to India, I will start my own CRO. But obviously, it needs a lot of funds, like more than 5 or 6 crores. So initially, obviously, no one could put directly this much amount. So in that case, I thought to let us start a training center, because I could see, or I faced at that time during my bachelor's in the college, because we used to struggle for a single pipette also, and in university, I saw that like they used to provide us a whole box of covet, like 100 covets and all. So that the way they used to provide us the apron, the chemical, the signboards, everything which I saw. So I thought, let us start this culture in India, so we'll get a good appreciation. So by considering that also, and second thing, we never used to get the use those instruments over there in the lab, yeah, while doing my bachelor's. So I used to think that यार इतना admission दिया है, पैसा भरा है, why these people are not allowing us to handle these instruments. So let us give such type of experience to all my students. So I got, you could see to my background, you could see all the instruments are there, which are German made. I imported them from the Germany, and I'm training all the science and pharma background students on there. Like they are handling their own all these instruments, so that they will get an experience. And after finishing that course, I'm only arranging the campus interview over here in my lab, and I could recruit them, or they are getting jobs over here directly from my lab. So this is how generally I'm working, and now it's been 8 to 9 years that I've started this, and more than say 1,000 students I have already trained over here. So and more than 50 colleges I have signed the MOUs with all these colleges, and company staff, more than 20 company staffs I have trained over here. So I have analysts and my technical team. so who continuously take efforts to run this organization.
Wow, wow. So you have like how many people now in the organization working with you?
Yeah, so 4 to 5 people are there, and on this floor. And second thing, we have 12 people for my technical team, like who are expertise from different branch. So whatever projects we are getting for the students for their M.Pharm and PhD, so we team like generally sits and we discuss all these things, and discovery hoga wo subject. Accordingly, that faculty is guiding to us, and accordingly, my team is working.
Wow, that's great. So you need to say anybody doing a B pharmacy, anybody doing bachelor's in chemistry,
Yes, sir. Yes.
science, anybody doing programs can come to you and work in your labs, right?
Exactly. Even sir, the students from the agriculture field also, like agriculture background also, they also do come.
Okay, so I think we go to Pranav now. Pranav, we can see a lot of small bottles behind you, and Bayork, I guess, is a
Yes, yes. Bayok is my bad.
so what exactly is about and what?
Sure, yeah. I mean, coming back to India was always a plan. I remember discussing with you when you were in the city as well. Me and my wife both knew that we were on the same page, like we'll work for 5 years in the US and then come back to India with well-researched and planned startup idea. We both are very passionate about building a company. So we wanted to do something which we really know about. And so in 2018, when I came back, we started Bayok. So Bayok is a brand of essential and carrier oils. Uh, we started in 2018. It's been a very exciting journey so far. Uh, I was in New York City. I witnessed the scale and overall massiveness of this industry. So essential oils have a very long history of like over 6,000 years, used by ancient Romans, Greeks, Indians for its therapeutic and medicinal value. And I wanted people to know. I was convinced with its profound benefits, and I knew that this is the thing I want people to know. And we launched Bayok. So Bayok is a brand of essential oils. We are providing finest quality essential oils to Indians. And as I always say that like Alfonso mango is never grown good in Nasik. So these oils are grown in a particular climate and particular soil condition. So we import these oils where it is grown best. So we source our oils globally and want to give overall great experience to our customers of Bayok. So this is our startup, and I wouldn't call it just a brand, but we are basically brand on mission to make this world a beautiful and stress-free place. We are a very young company right now, just started 2 years back, but we definitely have a long way to go. We're just crafting first mile of our brand.
Yes, recently I saw you, shifting your stuff to some big office. I guess
Yes,
no,
we are in the process of doing that.
I saw,
So, so, so we are growing, we are developing, we are launching new products, and so we require bigger space as well. So we are
this is
moving to a bigger office very soon.
okay. Okay, this is incredible. I think there is a problem with Rohan. Rohan, you are here. I think he will
And by
join
the way,
back.
we are selling this essential oils on Amazon. So being a
Wow.
marketer, anybody interested, do visit on Amazon.
Right, right. I think Rohan, there was some problem. Rohan left the meeting. I don't know. He will join back. Still, we will continue with you,
Sure,
Pranav.
sure.
That's the only one now for me.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. Regarding this now, now you are continuing a job in with USA. Pranav is joining back. You are continuing with job with the US company as well, right? Same company you.
Sure.
So how you are managing this stuff, Rohan?
Yes, sir. I'm there.
No problem. Just put on the camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, there was some interruption
No worries. No
for
worries.
the night. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, say it.
So Pranav, how are you managing your job with US company now?
Yeah, sure. So, my owner of my company, while I was working in the US, he inspires me a lot when it comes to entrepreneurship. I consider him as one of my mentors. So when I decided to come back with this idea of coming back to India and starting up my own, like he was the first person. He was nothing less than excited. He told me a small story. Like when he started, his boss supported him, and he said that I'm going to pass on the same legacy to you. So you can definitely go back and and do your own stuff, figure out whatever you want to do. And then he approved me to work as a consultant for his firm. So the work is demanding. My new startup is also demanding. So I work during the day on my startup, and then until the late night on the US job. It gets tiring at sometimes, but I'm very passionate about both things, what I'm doing, and it keeps me going.
Wow. Maybe your weekends are something where you get some rest, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really motivating, for youngsters that this is something which you must do when you're growing. I know Rohan also working, quite late night. I had been to one of his functions. He called me. I remember.
Yeah.
So he works, late night. He's in lab and all. So that is something which, because you both are doing something which you always wanted to get into. So that is something which is really good. Now a very important question, like Rohan and Pranav, I think this is the crux of this particular meeting. Uh, how your degree from UK in your case and US in your case maybe helped you or is helping you in this business? So Rohan, maybe you can start answering. Uh, how this
Uh,
degree or education from UK is helping you in this business?
yeah, basically, as I could say that uh, at academic level, I could say that since I'm not going to get any approval or I don't want any approval from any university, so that criteria won't matter in my case, like how many days it took or how many years I took to complete my degree, because in it I think my video is
No, I just made it off because your internet connection is. I'm giving message on that. So
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, yes, sir. So, technically, whatever the number of years it takes to complete the degree over here in India and in UK, so that's not the big deal in my case. But as I could say that the technical things which I saw over there or which I got over there that I could implement over here, that is how it is helping me. Because the projects which I worked 10 years back over there, people are working over here now, so that is helping me. And in many projects I could see that the things which they don't know, for them I could guide them or I could work by my side. So that's what my benefit is there, most important thing. Second thing, sir, I would tell that whatever technicalities or certain instruments and many things are there which I used to use over there in the labs, which are not over here in India, or people are not using at the college level. So when I'm using them, or I could match up my things with the industries which are there in industry, the people who are using over there. So that is how I could match up my things with the industry, and that is what the industry is actually demand. And my students are getting exposure to all those techniques which I learned over there and which I'm providing them over here also. So even if it is not available with me, I'm asking them or I'm calling them from the Mumbai or wherever from where they will get available for me, and I could supply those to my students, and my students could get experience. So this is how, sir. There second thing I learned over there. The most important thing was the discipline in everything, in your attire, in your time management, in your environment of your working place, how clean you are keeping or how everything should be there. So all these things made me to implement over here. And when people are visiting over here, they could see that how a lab could be so clean, how a weighing balance could be so clean. Means when I'm telling them that this instrument is 9 years old, so they can't believe that how could it is possible. So all these small things are making uh, everything different, whatever they are, because you know that the way they are using in the colleges and all. So that is making a lot of difference. So that makes them surprised that okay, this is what the things how impact. Because in college when they are working on the instruments, they can't get the proper results and all, they could easily manipulate the readings. But over here, without manipulation also, they could get a better results. So that's the only thing. Whatever discipline you are maintaining while handling, while having your apron and everything I could say.
Wow, wow. It's great. And I know, yes, you are really making a difference. in your lifestyle, in your working style.
Exactly, sir.
Right. Yes, Pranav. So I think for you it's education as well as the experience in job.
Mhm.
You can answer that your boss is your guide, if you can say.
Yes.
So apart from your boss, like networking might be, and how it is getting helpful in your business. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, so many things. I met some amazing people in the US who play a very crucial role in who I am today. Uh, US gave me an opportunity to discover my own personality. I mean, looking back, I learned to think big, take big risk, like live life to the fullest, stop complaining, accept different cultures, so many things. Another perspective which I got from US is about planning. Everything in the US is all about planning to get a good job, to maintain your visa status, to grow your career, working hard. Everything needs a plan. So today when I'm working in the startup, uh, I make the best use of the planning skills which I acquired there. While I was working in the US, I was working in a startup there as well. So it's an e-commerce startup. So I got a very hands-on experience into e-commerce, very deep experience, and I could directly replicate that experience in my startup, make less mistakes, and that helped me a lot in business. And so US education played a very large role in my personality today. With the opportunity to connect with the finest professors, I learned so many things more than just completing the credits. So I always call US years as my formative years. Then I could use all those things, small experiences, in my day-to-day life as well.
Great, great, great. So we say, how a pot is made from a mud, really
Yeah.
a person gets shaped when he is
Right.
abroad,
Right.
studying or working, like you really get shaped into, a better personality.
Correct.
You
Correct.
can, both of you. Rohan, I requested to start your video if you can. Just check if you can. If you can now,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Just check if again there is a bandwidth low, we need to stop the video. Okay. And
Maybe.
now it's a very interesting question coming up, and we will love to answer. Again, your study period in the US or UK, where you are, and we start with Pranav maybe this time. Uh, Pranav, what was or what were the things which you missed in the US, which we frequently do in India?
Uh, I would say family, celebrating Indian festivals with the family. India is a very vibrant, chaotic country full of people. It's very family focused, extraordinarily social. So that part I missed in the US. Living in India, I cannot complain about food, as we got some extraordinary Indian food there, many times tasting better than what we get here. But yeah, I did celebrating festivals with family, living with family, and those are the things which I miss there.
Perfect, perfect. What about Rohan? Rohan, anything you missed?
Sir, I don't think so that I missed anything over there because I think I showed you some of my pics also. We celebrated everything. Even I asked in the university to celebrate Gudi Padwa
Oh,
also. So we put a Gudi in the entrance of my university also.
wow.
And then we had everything. We had Diwali. I had Ganpati also. So I went to some Birmingham or Leicester to get the statue of Ganpati Bappa, and then we had like Bhandara kind of thing. We had some sweets for 50 of my friends over there, and we had illegal Visarjan also of Ganpati because there it is not allowed to have the Visarjan and all unless and until you take the permission.
Right.
So I think that was like memorable for me. All these things we celebrated everything. I just is I wanted to have a Europe trip after finishing all my studies, but I didn't got that much time. So maybe after this pandemic situation.
You will go for Europe, now be with your family.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, but you never missed anything from India. Maybe you have the hope
No, sir.
to go.
Nothing, sir. You won't believe. You won't believe in in the season of May, we had Amras, we had Puran Poli. Then even in Diwali, my mother sent everything, all the stuff which we have, chakli, chuda, and everything. I had everything. Even and that's the beauty of UK, sir. Basically, in UK, let me tell you, like obviously it is great than US. I would say the experience which I had. Uh, uh, Wembley area is there near to London. So if you will roam in the Wembley, you won't feel that you are in the London or England in England, because there you will see like the clothes are hanging like we have in India, and the sabjiwala and all everything is like you won't believe that you are in UK. So that is how the actual culture is there.
You
So
were having
That's fair.
even you will get pani puri also, sir, like kanda bhaji and everything. That is what everything you are getting.
New Jersey has a pan tapri as well.
Yeah. We had.
wow, great, great, great. So obviously you must have missed your family. That's it, both of you finished
Yes, sir. Yes.
was
Yeah.
all going. But still, you had a strong motivation to come back, and you came back. Otherwise, life was good there as well for both of you.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Back, good. Now we're coming to the almost end of in part maybe one question more. Is Are you in touch with your classmates in Sheffield, Rohan? Like, are you
Yes.
still?
Yes. Yes. Actually, some of my classmates went to US afterwards. They wanted to proceed for the PhD. So I'm in touch with them, and one of my friend is only there, who was there with me. So he's working for some company. Rest not that much. Rest not that much.
Okay,
But whatever were there, they went to US only for their PhD.
okay. Great.
Whoever there, yeah,
Touch with them after years.
yeah. I'm in touch with them.
What about you, Pranav? You are in.
Absolutely in touch with all of my friends. These are very close friends. The best part was like 20 of them came to airport for dropping me off when we were coming back to India. And we have fantastic different groups there, and I'm well connected with them. I usually visit US once a year for work, and that's the time when I can reconnect with friends and family there. Uh,
Great, great, great. And last question to both of you, maybe few lines. What will you recommend a fresh college graduate who is out of college in Nashik, Pune, Mumbai, Nagpur, anywhere in Maharashtra, or maybe even in India? What you will recommend them? Like maybe Pranav, what you will recommend them at the moment they should do? May
Pleasure.
not go short maybe, but like what exactly you recommend them as per with your experience of around 10, 20 years now?
Yeah, sure. I would say that whatever you plan, you do with a lot of clarity, like what you really want to do. And from my experience, I would recommend that taking an experience in India for a few years would be helpful in getting job early in the US, because when you're just fresh out of college, you have nothing to say. So when you have some experience in India, that adds up in getting a job. But not just going to abroad, but whatever you do in life, do what you're really passionate about. Be focused in what you do, and there is a lot of hype in doing multitasking. Don't multitask. I mean, do few things, do it extraordinarily well.
Right, perfect. And Rohan, what you will recommend?
Yes, sir. I would recommend the same thing. First of all, I would like to tell all the students who are there in the final year or maybe the third year, maybe. So I would ask them or I would tell them that just focus whatever you want to do. First thing. Second thing, keep on doing your allied courses, whatever your the major part of your course. Suppose you are doing engineer, you're doing pharma or some whatever. So suppose you are doing pharmacy, so try to have some actual ground floor experience or the lab floor experience so that you could implement all these things over there. And why I want to go to abroad, that question or that answer should be clear to you first of all. Otherwise, many times this happens like students are coming to even me also, like they're coming to ask me like I want to go to abroad. So, but when I'm asking them why you want to go, so they don't have answers. Like some of them are saying like I just want to have that experience and blah blah blah. So if you just want to have the experience, like why you're wasting that the whole year and for the whole course, that just have a trip of 1 month for the abroad and you could have that experience also. So many times, like why you wants to go, that answer should be clear to every student. So get what I could say is get actual information, or ask the people who knows, like you, sir, you are there already to guide all of them, like why you should go over there, or why you should select a particular subject or any particular university. So that is what I would ask the students, that have your question first of all, like why I wants to go, get your answer clear, or get the correct information, because many students are having just a fame, like keep foreign ka degree hai, that's what that I don't want students to do. So why you want to go, like clear, I think that there must be a reason.
Right.
One good thing these days is that even you go to US and decide to come back, India is the land of opportunities. Like I'm seeing that
Exactly.
work culture, like Thomas Friedman wrote several years back that world is flat, and so India is in that flat feature. So a lot of people who are there or who want to go there and come back. I mean, India has massive opportunities. Metro cities are filled with a lot of jobs, which are which have same culture as what we have in the US, and so we have a lot of good things here as well.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. 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 So this was the last question for both of you from my side, and now we
Thank you,
can
sir.
go for question and answer if we have any questions from the crowd. But before I conclude this particular interview from my end, I would like to compliment both of you. Not because you just came today here, it's like about your life. Because I know both of you very well. I know both of your family very well. And through Akshay Study Abroad only, I came across your parents and your family and all. So what I've noticed in both of you is like you're not just very close to your family by just saying, by just putting status on the Facebook or WhatsApp, but you really share values of your family and whatever your parents, maybe father, mother, maybe your uncle and all, they tell you, you really think what they have told you, and then you make a decision. Because in this current generation, what we notice is people do just what they want to do without consulting their like senior members in the family, or even their elder brothers, sisters, and even somebody goes and tell them that okay, this is not correct, but still they don't listen. That is a tendency in youngster. But in your case, both of you, I know since 2007, 8 now, that you're really a good listener in the family, and you really consult your family, your parents, and you listen to them. Yeah, there might be something which is wrong, or which might you may not agree with them, but still you convince them properly, and then you go ahead. Obviously, you have a very cooperative parents, like really good parents. Obviously, most of us, they have cooperative parents, but it's a tendency that now I'm young, I'm a different generation, there is generation gap. This is what generally people tell. But both of you are really good examples. What I have noticed, because I come across at least 300 students every year now, those who go abroad. And I know what fancies Rohan was telling me, what fancies they have in their mind and all. But you people were really grassrooted people. You were really, you knew what is going to happen when you go abroad. Obviously, surprises came in your way. But because of these strong values, what you hold, you were successful abroad also, and now you are successful. And in future also you will be definitely successful. So I will like to wish both of you great success in your own ventures, and I know in fine day you will be in high and reputed positions in India, and which I'm sure about, which will happen in years to come. With this, I
Thank you, sir.
finished my over to
Thank
you,
you.
Hiren sir, for the question.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's true.
All right. So thank you, Mr. Pranav and Rohan. This was very enlightening. And I think now the session is open for questions from the participants. So feel free to ask any questions to Mr. Pranav and Mr. Rohan. If you are someone who is planning a similar journey, I think this is something, an opportunity that you should miss. All right, some questions have started to drop in. All right. A question from one of our students. Her name is Sakshi. Uh, so I think we can have both Mr. Rohan and Mr. Pranav answering them one by one. The question is very simple, but it's about difficulties. So the question is, what hurdles did you face after coming back to India? Were there any? And if yes, can you just talk about them a little? I think we can start with Mr. Pranav first.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you look at it as a hurdle, then it's a hurdle. So we came back to India with a lot of clear idea. We never complained about bad roads or lines in front of government office and everything. So we always looked at the better part of it. Uh, I mean, difficulties in India would be the same. I mean, traffic and those conditions, but nothing major so far. So to go on the contrary, government processes have become very simple. Like I registered my company online, GST is paid online, income tax is paid online. Overall, e-commerce ecosystem has improved a lot, logistics and everything. So we could probably get same experience as what you get in the Western countries. So far everything is good, and we are in Nasik, so blessed with good climate, good landscape, and enjoyed so far.
Yeah, we hope that
Very
remains the
very
same.
very happy with my move.
Yeah. Mr. Rohan, would you like to share your experience?
Yeah, I don't think so that, like as what Pranav said, that the things which we used to have 10 years back over there, so they are as much as simplified like over here also. Only the thing is that I have seen, like as I'm in touch with the industries also, so I have seen that industries are having like two types of mindsets about the abroad students. When students are applying in the industry, so few industries are having mindset that okay, you have a habit of automation, everything and all, and they think that you can't cope up or you can't correlate yourself or you can't adjust yourself with this environment. So that is how they are having mindset, but it's not like that. Even I have experienced the same way. And on either side, like they could see that some benefits in you, that you are having multilingual, ability to work with different cultures, people, and they could have you on their what I could say the directorial panel and all and all. So it's up to industry that what they see in you. If you will skip all these things, I don't think so that there are many hurdles after coming over here in India. No.
I mean, don't come with preconceived notions. Like
Yeah,
lot has changed, and there are cultural differences, but treat it as a difference and not something right or wrong. So there are some differences. I mean, but that's the beauty of our country, right?
Okay.
Well, I will like to add, actually, if you are coming back, come with concrete idea, state properly what you want to do, and you should be in the right place for this. For example, as far as pharma is concerned, if you go to places like Hyderabad, I am one of my students is working with Dr. Reddy's now in Hyderabad. If you go to good places where there is a good pharma research going on, you can be like very happy. Okay, but if you just come back without any plans and start searching an employment like a normal M.Pharm or PhD from India will do, then you will struggle. And as Rohan correctly said, they have a different mindset for people coming from abroad and India. So ideally, you should have a complete plan. Maybe many of my students they apply from US or UK itself before they come back to India. So they generally have job in their hand. Okay, so just come to Nasik, stay with their parents for a couple of days, and they just pack the bags and go to Delhi or Mumbai and start working. So if you do like that, coming back is not at all a bad idea, because in the long run you will find yourself in a best position. Go to all these multinational companies, right from Glaxo, Johnson and Johnson. They are all top-notch board, or people working in the R&D and all. They all have graduated from these advanced countries. I happened to go to Glaxo in Nasik 4 years back, where Dr. Chowdhury, who is the head of their R&D in Nasik, and now he has shifted to Singapore now. He has studied from Oregon State University, US, his PhD. So I just interacted with him, and he said, I am like head of pharma in India. So pharma research in India. So yeah, people are working on key positions in India. I think Pranav and Rohan, they must be knowing many of such people those are working on key positions in pharma, even other industries. Now, these people can say on pharma, but other industries like computers, mechanical engineering, all fields, you will find people coming back from US, UK, Europe, Australia, working on very challenging positions. Okay, so yeah, this is what I would like to add here.
At the same time, I would like to add that do not miss the opportunity of working in the US or UK or anywhere if you get a chance, because that's a very enriching experience. It you get an opportunity to learn several things at a global platform,
Right,
and
right,
that is something one should not miss. I mean,
right. It's like Rohan, where you have a very strong family background with a businessman.
exact. But he was very clear about what he wants to do. A lot of people are not clear about
Yeah.
what they want to do.
I've seen parents forcing children to come back, and children just come back, and there is nothing. Family can also offer them, or industry can offer them, so they will struggle definitely. Yeah, this is correct. Okay, so Hiren, some more
Yeah.
questions.
All right. Sakshi says thank you. That was really helpful for her. And yeah, to all the participants, I am making sure that I'm reading each and every question. But unfortunately, there are a few questions that are a little off topic to the topic of our session. So please excuse us if your question isn't being taken. I'll try my best to even rephrase some questions so that we make it relevant to the topic. Um, I would like to acknowledge a question coming from Karan. I think maybe I would, rephrase the question a little bit here. Yeah, I think that the question would be voluntary because this is related to finances, expenses. So yeah, I guess many people would have this question in their mind as to how would it be feasible for someone to invest in pursuing higher studies abroad, and then along with that also coming up with enough funds, enough capital for starting a business of one's own. So would you like to share anything about some tips, some certain things that you did so that you managed your finances well throughout all of these things?
Can I take it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
Pranav, continue,
Sure.
please. Yeah.
Uh, getting educated there is really expensive things. So a lot of support from parents is required for that, and we should be thankful entire life for that kind of support. But after graduating, when I started working, I always had a plan to come back. So I had set some financial goals for myself that I would collect X amount before I come back, so I can sustain if something doesn't work out. So that was the thing which I did. And initially, I would say that if you're coming back and starting up your own, test waters with your own money, because no one is going to invest in you or your startup or your company right from the day one. So you have to play with your own money. So collect enough capital, at least that you can have a sustained roadmap for to at least 2 years, and then try out. And if it works, everybody will come and invest in you. If it doesn't work, you don't care. Like you can do something else.
That's right.
Yeah, in same case, I could tell you that if you'll consider about UK, in that case, I would say that currently, maybe if I'm not wrong, you may need 1,000 to 1,200 pounds per month. In my case, when I was there at that time, pounds rate was around some 70 or 75. So in Indian rupees, I could say that around 60,000 rupees was my house rent, and obviously other expenses, that traveling, then grocery and everything. I used to work in the Hollister as a part-time job at that time. So my job used to start at 10 o'clock up to 5 o'clock in the morning. So even though my family was in the position to support me, but just to get that experience, because I know that my father is also having a pharmacy. So I used to work over there during my holidays. So since when I was 10, I know that how to work, and so I used to enjoy to work for the Hollister, and obviously that was my source of income. So you could enjoy, you could reserve some money for yourself also. And obviously my education loan was there with me. So I wanted to pay by my side only. So that's why, to not to give that burden to my parents, so I used to work. So you may get a job. Only the thing is that you should be ready to work at any point or at any place, just to experience that how it feels when you work for others. No doubt in India we are having that fame or that kind of thing like कि मेरे पास तो इतना है मेरे पापा का ऐसा है blah blah blah, why should I work and all. But still, that attitude you should keep aside when you are there. And when you start earning, at that time you will think 100 times while spending a single penny over there. So that makes a huge difference in you. You'll start valuing the money, people, everything, the food, everything, everything.
Right, right. Perfect answer for both of them. And yes, there are many startups in India also, which you may start with a less investment. There are many startups which you may start maybe a capital of around 3 to 4 lakhs also. You may come up with a startup, because what is important is your efforts, your sweat and blood, which will go into the business, which is also an investment from your end, which you have to do a lot. Yes, some businesses will require a huge capital. So accordingly, you should choose like what family you belong to, and whether you have a home investor, somebody from house who can invest. Yes, you may go ahead. Otherwise, I guess finance is something which is manageable. What is important is your attitude towards your work, and your ability, to perform is important. If you have got that, one day you are going to be successful, definitely.
Okay. There's this one
Uh,
question. Again, I guess this can be one of our last questions before we wrap up. Uh, I think this question can be first asked to Mr. Rohan here, because he is into training, education, and someone who has experienced education abroad. So, Mr. Rohan, would you like to talk about some differences between the education that you experienced in the UK compared to the current Indian education, and would you like to compare these two a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, as I could see the differences in the education sector, the most important thing is that those people are working with the current scenario which is over there, or with the things which are needed by the industry right now. Because in Indian education system, I could see that there is a huge difference, there is a huge difference between demand and supply. As you could see that the portion or the syllabus which we are running through, that is around 40 years old syllabus. Like no one is using that medicine and or everything, the techniques, they are outdated. But the industry supply demand is like something else. So that's the huge difference I could say. I don't want to dominate the education system over here, but obviously we are lacking much behind than the demand right now. So that thing is there. And the second most or the worst part, which I could say, that we are analyzing the student on the basis of theory which they are writing unnecessarily. Like we think that like how many supplement that student is attached. Yeah, that's the worst thing which I could see. But over there, I could remember that I had 9 subjects, and among those 9 subjects, only 2 subjects I had the theory papers. Rest all were the practicals, like assignments and that group studies, that presentation and everything. So oral things, like all such kind of practical things we had for those 7 subjects, and I think that is much important. Even we had some industrial collaborations also. So industries came to my university at that time, and we had some one month program connectively with the university. So we were the part of that program. Industry put their some problems, and they asked us to solve those problems with our mindset. So that is how the students will come to know that what exactly industry wants in current scenario. And such kind of practices I can't see over here in India. That is what I said, that whatever I learned over there, and I'm trying to put the same type of culture over here in India. So whenever I'm visiting to any college or any institute, I'm trying to give impact on all such things, that why don't we have, or why can't we have such kind of activities for the students, so that they will get the exact things what industry wants right now from them.
All right. Actually, to be honest, I can tell you that there are quite a few questions in the chat box that actually say that looking at you guys as examples, does it make sense to study abroad? Is it necessary for you to spend that money? But I think the answer should be very clear, that all of the things that they've learned, whatever they have done, it's all because of the experience that they've had. So yeah, I think this answers a lot of common questions here, that does it make sense to go abroad? So I think it should be something that goes without saying, right?
And I think
Absolutely.
this challenges our entire activity that we are doing actually. And so I will try and answer this.
Yeah.
Study abroad, this is what we actually tell in every webinar, every seminar previously before COVID. That study abroad is not to go and earn money. It's not to earn pounds, dollars, and even in India, even if you don't study in India, you may make money. I have so many examples that students have not even graduated themselves from Indian university and are earning a lot of money in India. Please don't relate earning money and fame with education. Education abroad is basically to transform yourself into a new individual. It can be your rebirth as far as possible. The professional approach is concerned, your communication skills are concerned, your confidence level is concerned. Okay, because whenever I send a student, including these two gentlemen, I send students in maybe 2010, and when I meet them in 2011, after a few months, I don't recognize that, oh, he or she is my student. Okay, so this change, if you really want to make in yourself, you must go abroad. Okay, whether you will get job there, whether you'll earning dollars and pounds, we don't know. Okay, as a counselor, I cannot guarantee that. But yes, what I can guarantee you is you will be definitely a positive person. You will be definitely an individual with a confidence. Whichever part of the world you go, you will be successful. Successfully completing degrees from countries like US and UK, and that's the main reason we like someone should go abroad and family should invest in you. I think Pranav and Rohan will agree with this, that this is
Absolutely.
something which take,
Exactly,
and
exactly.
those are your skill. And no way we should say something wrong about our education system, because we have studied here for almost 16 years of our life. So this has given us a foundation, given us a strong foundation, but we need a finishing school. So instead of having finishing school again in India, having finishing school from abroad can make you perfect, super perfect, we can say. Maybe working there or working in back in India, you will be super fit. Can Ram and Rohan can just say a few words in this.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. US
so the same
experience.
thing,
Oh,
yeah, I would like to tell you the same thing, the thing which I told previously also, that if they will ask themselves that why I want to go to abroad, if their motto is clear, then they will get that answer, that whether it makes sense to go abroad or not. That I think that's the answer.
and everybody of us are very comfortable in our own country. When you move out, you become uncomfortable, uh, and being uncomfortable makes you grow professionally as well as personally. You get to learn several different things like adapting to new cultures, accepting changes, and apart from getting educated, and it's the finest experience anyone can get.
Perfect, perfect. I think Hiren, we are good to go now. There is one question asked to me directly in private, like Canada is the best country to do masters in pharma. I will straight away answer this. In Canada, there are very few universities offering masters and PhD in pharmaceutical. There are close to 7 universities. I can name all of them also here. Like you have British Columbia, you have Calgary, you have Toronto Institute of Pharmaceutical Technology. There are close to 7 institutes only they give masters, and in United States we have close to 110 universities offering pharmaceutical masters. US is big when it comes to pharma research and all. So if you're comparing Canada and US, go to US, right? And for this program. But yeah, I have a couple of students gone to Canada also for masters and PhD, but it's competitive. But yeah, you can try. We are there to help you out if you want to get in Canada, right? Hiren, any new question or anything new? You can take a last question, or we may wind up if you find anything interesting.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
already, yes, yeah,
A question from Shruti Pawar. I guess the question here can be just phrased a little bit better. So I think this question can go to directly you, Amit sir, because you being someone who has counseled so many students, and there have been many examples like Pranav and Rohan who have done something entrepreneurial on their own. So, what would you advise to someone who actually wants to follow a path similar to what Pranav and what Mr. Pranav and what Mr. Rohan are doing? Would it make sense if they go for an undergraduate degree, then come back to India and then do something of their own, or stay there, finish their masters or their PhD, and then come back and do something of their own?
Okay. This is a very a question which will need the person actually, meet the person, meet either a family before I tell a concrete answer. But yes, overall, a thumb rule says if you're going for a bachelor's or an undergrad education in foreign country like US or UK, it is very difficult that you will come back. My personal suggestion, because you become an American or you become a British by the time you complete your 4 years. But still, people do come back. I have many examples of such people. Nowadays, in this word, bachelor is obsolete. Bachelor's is of no importance. You have to get a master's degree. Like in our I remember my grandparent used to tell me, "आमच्या वेळी काय मॅट्रिक झालं की job मिळून जायचा." So that time matric was an absolute PhD. Then suddenly it become a inter science or something. Then it become graduation compulsory. Maybe and at my time or maybe little upper generations to us, graduation was a big thing. Yeah, graduate zala. But now it's like masters is minimum. So even if you plan to come back to India, do your masters from US, UK. Maybe you can switch on countries. I have sent one girl like this, a very famous from very business family from Nasik. She completed her bachelor's in UK, out of which 1 year she spent in Germany. Then she went to US for a master's. Again in the US for master 1 year, 1 year. Sorry, one semester she was in China. Then she went back to US and he came to India and now she has her own hotel in Nasik. So yeah, this way you can really get a good exposure by studying, but do masters. That is what I recommend and start with a business activity. Yeah, but going abroad, if you are from a business and one thing which we not discuss much, networking. In abroad, you get a great networking. Like you go to UK, your classmates maybe coming from Europe, maybe coming from South Africa, will be like people who's like one of my student. I met him in UK in University of Strathclyde, where he introduced me with his batchmates, all were European. One girl, her mother was a mayor in some city of France. Then one person, his father owned a winery in Belgium or somewhere. So, such a fantastic classmate. So that is also very important from the business families. And so, yes, if you want to do business, go abroad, do your bachelor's, do your master's, then come back. That will be good. I think we are good to go. Yeah, we are almost 7:15 now. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we are almost done with the time for today's session. So to all the participants, I think we made sure that we addressed all the questions related to the session. And yeah, on my behalf, thank you all for joining in, to all the participants, and also to our guests. And yeah, to just have some final concluding remarks. Amit sir, would like to say anything before we all conclude?
We can start with Rohan. Rohan, any concluding remark? One line, two lines?
No, sir, I'm happy that I met you first of all. In 2020 only, I think I started the preparations, and whatever you guided me, that was great for me. And not just by the means of advertisement or whatever, but I would recommend everybody to please go and meet to Amit sir, take his guidance, and whatever he will give you, that will be great. That will be great. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Uh, yeah, absolutely. Akshay study abroad fulfilled so many people's dream of going abroad, and Amit sir guided very well. I remember going to his office every now and then, from writing SOPs to getting recommendations and everything right from class. Uh, so he's always there to help you, and good luck. If anything we could help, we are always there to help. Uh, you can connect me on LinkedIn. I'm always there, very active. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You are quite generous to say this word for me and my organization. We are very grown up. I remember in 2008-9 when I used to sit in a small office, 500 square feet maybe. Now
Yes,
we
sir.
have
Yeah.
4,600 square feet office. We have, like that time we were on one block in the building. Now we have 5 blocks in the building, and it's quite huge now. And that time I was having a couple of people, including my wife and 2 more people maybe. Now we have a team of 17 people. You know,
Wow.
Great. Great.
it's organization now, and so yeah, we are really grown up, and it's only because of students like you. Like you went abroad first, you did excellent there, so it motivated others. Okay, and your professors also. I really recently happened to go to your college, NGV College of Pharmacy, where I presented. I met your professors there, and they were really, talking about you guys, and they were very happy that they guided you sometimes back in their life. So yes, you people have really made a great impact for Nasik people, Nasik students rather, and because of that we are here today. And to host such kind of event, it's not related to marketing of us. It's about study abroad as an industry and as guiding people. And this entire week, if you saw, I have interviewed one of your classmates, Jagdish Mahale, right?
Yeah.
He from Oxford. Then I interviewed yesterday morning. I interviewed my student from Harvard, Rohit Panchakshari. I interviewed him. Then we had an excellent week there, and all my staff members, all of them, I gave them opportunity that to speak up and all, and so we had an excellent week. And although tomorrow is still pending, so this entire thing was not for marketing Akshay Study Abroad Consultant. Our name was not there anywhere at all. It was just to create awareness among people and make them understand the exact picture about study abroad. Like today, they got to know that yes, you can make career back in India also, which I'm telling from day one of my career that you can come back to India and make a career. So we have shown them. We will show them more and more such examples, which will motivate them, their families, that India is also a best destination to get back. India is a grown-up nation like other nations too. Yeah, there are certain problems which are there, but even those nations also they have their own problems. So problems are not there is no problem-free world. There is no problem-free place. So obviously you will have problems in India. So if you have plans to come and settle back to India, that's the reason we hosted this event, and it got success, grand success. We are getting so many thank yous and all right now, and the feedback will be very good. So with this, I will conclude this event officially, and thank you, Rohan and Pranav,
Thank you, sir.
for being here for us. And we will definitely bother you again if anything required for us. We wish you all the best, Rohan, for your rap lab. May you
Thank you, sir.
conquer the world and target more colleges and maybe shift abroad somewhere with your lab collaborations and all. And Pranav, I want to see you growing big on Amazon and maybe starting your own portal.
Thank you.
Doing one fine day. So all the best, both of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
All right. Thank you everybody for joining in. Hope to see you
Thank
all
you.
tomorrow for the events. Thank you. Bye.
Good night. Good night.